Hey boos, hey, it is your girl, the Rising Phoenix Empath, coming at you from Maryland. And this is part 3 of the from the last video. And so the connection and correlation to everything that is going on is that the entity attached to the said person is irritated with me because it sees me in spirit and knows that I have spiritual gifts that can vanquish him. And so because it is intimidated by me, it pushes its host to try to intimidate me. Okay? That's that connection. But as it pertains to the land, the connection to the land is that the land is very sensitive. The land and the spirits on the land is very sensitive to the spirit or the entity that's attached to the said man. Because even though it is a lower level imp, even though it is not that powerful, the attitude and energy of the imp matches the same attitude, maybe not match the energy because it's not, as I don't know, it's not as dangerous, but in attitude it matches the attitude of the colonizers that inhabited the land and that caused so much devastation to the indigenous people that were on this land. Okay? And so, because I own the land that I'm on, and it's so funny because everything that she told me, to be honest, she told me these things, very enlightening things, but it was all confirmation. It wasn't like I was surprised to hear any of these things, because these are things that I thought to do on my own prior to having this conversation with her. So I already got that epiphany, that intuitive epiphany, that the land and the spirits on the land needed an offering. I knew that. I just had never actually done it, but to hear it from her, and I'm new to really exploring my spiritual gifts, and so my intuition speaks to me, my all-knowing speaks to me, and I question it and I challenge it, and I don't quite understand that I'm right on the money a lot of the times, right? So all of it that she said to me was confirmation, because I even thought to myself, what is his problem? Because I merely just exist, I irritate this person. I haven't done nothing out the way. I'm trying to figure out what the issue is, and right then and there, trying to figure it out, is something in me said, you can't figure it out because it's not this is not a physical issue. You're trying to think with your human mind, and you're dealing with an inhumane entity. And so there's no getting into the minds of how these devious imps and demons operate. Okay? So, what did I do? What have I do? So today, I got me and my son together. We took baths, and we put on clothes, and we put on smell goods so that we could go and present our offering to the land. Right? And what I did is, weeks ago, I went to Lowe's to get some stuff for the house, and this guy was outside. Every time I go to Lowe's, he always flirts with me. Older guy, nice guy, and he always flirts with me. And he says, we're selling these plants, but I want to gift this to you. And it was a really cute plant. And it was called a majestic palm. Okay. So I took it. It was really cute, and he gave me a pumpkin, and he gave me the plant, and so I took it, and I'm like, wow, what is this for? What am I going to do with it? And I feel like it was destined. Like this was going to be my offering to the land, and so we got dressed, we bathed, we put on smell goods because we wanted to present our offering and ourselves as our best selves, right? And so we presented. I went outside, I got the shovel, and I really listened to. Stopped at the land, and I had several places I could put the plant. I wasn't sure where to put it, and I just kind of closed my eyes, and I just let it guide me. Let my intuition guide me to where I should plant this plant. And of course, it was in front of one of the huge trees in the back, outside of my property gate, but it's still my property. And I dug a hole, and I planted it there, and I really made a treaty with the land and a treaty with the spirits on the land. Just basically, because sometimes all people want is for you to acknowledge their pain, and to acknowledge their hurt, and to acknowledge the transgression that was done. I know I'm a human being, and when people hurt me and do these malicious things, that's all I really want, is the acknowledgement. And so in spirit, it's the same thing. And a lot of the trauma was so great that sometimes when when people cross over, and the event is so very traumatic, and they're disembodied so quickly, and it's such trauma that the earth and the place of which the trauma took place, the spirit inhabits that space. And so I said a prayer. I did the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven. And I presented the plant, and I acknowledged, and I paid homage, and I showed my respect. And I acknowledged that I own the land. I just live here, and I acknowledge that even though I own this land and I live on this land, I acknowledge this land as indigenous land, and this land will always belong to you. There's a level of humility that has to go forward when doing things like that, and when making offerings like that. And the offering was I plant this plant in memory of you, and in homage to you, and out of respect for you. And as I care for this plant, every time I see this plant, I will remember you. I will remember your pain. I will remember the plight of your people. I will remember the things that you've gone through, and the atrocities done to you. I will remember, and I will pay homage, and I will respect, and I will never forget. And last but not least, I didn't do it, but I apologize, because here I am, hundreds of years later, able to a degree benefit from that atrocity. And how do we make it right? We make it right by acknowledging that it happened. And I also acknowledge to them that I am also an indigenous person. Maybe not of this land, but I am an indigenous person of a land, and my people have experienced the same thing. And in that right, that makes us brothers and sisters to a degree. And maybe not the same branch, but definitely from the same tree. Part 4 coming.